Hi guys, welcome to Cola Teaches Math. So today I wanted to go over section 3.1, trig derivatives using chain rule. I teach this in unit 2, so if you're my student, we have a test on this next week, but otherwise it's taught in 3.1. So here we go. I tried to pick examples that look very similar, but a tiny bit different. So look at this first one. This is how I would teach this first one because there's no power. See how there's no power here? So there's one chant I say. Derive the trig, keep the angle, derive the angle. If you want to rewrite it as 3 in front, you can. That is it. So here's my first chant. Derive the trig. So you got to memorize your trig derivatives. Derive the angle. So this is the angle. I'm sorry. Woo! Just kidding. Derive the trig, keep the angle. It's early on a Wednesday morning. Derive the trig, keep the angle, multiply by the derivative of the angle, okay? So that's gonna be our first chant for some of these questions. All right, look at this side. Now, for this side, do you see how there's a power of 2? First thing I would do if I were you is I like to bring the power out. So see how I brought the power out? Because now this is chain rule, but it's a different chant. It's a bring down the power, keep the inside, subtract 1 from the power, multiply by the derivative of the inside. So let's derive the inside in a different color of my favorite pens. So when I derive the inside, it's a derive the trig, keep the angle, derive the angle. So for this one, if we want to simplify it, it would be 3 times 2, so 6. Sine 3x, I'm not going to carry down the first power, cosine 3x, okay? So that's what this one would derive to. So this one used this chant as well as bring down the power, keep the inside, subtract 1 from the power. I have this on a poster in my room, multiply by the derivative of the inside. So these are the 2 chants I'm going to be using here. Okay, put them in a cloud. All right, let's change this one so I can stay consistent. You're going to see what I'm going to do. So I'm actually going to move this one over here, and I'm going to flip this one to be the square root of tan x. Okay, ready? Derive the trig, tan derives the secant squared. Keep the angle, derive the angle, okay? So rad x, I tell my kids, memorize that derives to 1 over 2 rad x. If you don't know why, quick aside, rad x becomes x to the 1/2. So now when we derive x to the 1/2, that's just a simple power rule, 1/2 x to the negative 1/2. And when you would bring that x down, it would become this. And we know a power of 1/2 is 1 over 2 rad x. So I taught them, just please memorize that. We're going to see rad x so much all year. Done. Okay, this one, first step, bring the power out. So this side, I'm going to stay consistent, okay? So first thing, let's bring the power outside. Now we're going to use my first chant. Ready? Bring down the power, keep the inside, subtract 1 from the power, multiply by the derivative of the inside. The derivative of tan is just secant squared. Let's just practice rewriting this, okay? So the tan x is going to drop to the bottom because it's negative, and the 2 is going to be on the bottom. So all that's left on top is going to be secant squared over 2 rad tan x. Done. Okay, come over to this one. Derive the trig, cosecant derives to negative cosecant, cotangent. See how I'm keeping the angle in both spots? Derive the angle. So the derivative of the angle is 2x. How would they rewrite that? They'd bring the negative and the 2x in front, and then this would be it. And now last one, there's a power of 2. Bring it out. I actually want to make this, make it a 4x angle. I'm going to change it. So let's bring out the power to start. That's how I do all calc all year. Now, excuse me, I'm getting a cold. Okay, bring down the power. Keep the inside. Subtract 1 from the power. I don't need to put the 1 there, but I will for the sake of the video. Now we're going to multiply by the derivative of the inside. Okay, ready? Second chant. Derive the trig. So negative cosecant, cotangent. See how I'm keeping the angle? And then we got to derive the angle, which is 4. The derivative of 4x is 4. Now, how would we make that prettier? 2, negative 4, negative 8. And then they can order it however they want. So since there's 2 cosecants, I'm going to square it. And then cotan. Okay? So this is trig with chain rule. And you can see that these 2 chants, I'm looking for my highlighter, right here, are going to help us out with all of them.